Hello and welcome back to another edition of In the Paint, brought to you by First Federal Savings of Lorain. Again, our winter sports season is in full swing, and the basketball season in particular is really starting to heat up. So very, very excited to bring this week's episode to you. I'm Rocco Nuosci, joined alongside behind the camera by Kristen Bauer this week. So let's go ahead and jump right into things. Who is hot right now in Lorain County? We'll start, as we always do, on the boys' side of the equation, and we'll head on over to North Ridgeville, where we'll hear about the girls' team as well as they continue just to dominate. But the boys' side over there at North Ridgeville under first-year head coach Ben Chase, playing some good basketball right now. They won 2 contests last week. They knocked off Elyria and then got a win over Avon Lake. So they had lost 4 of 5 heading into that week of play. So you were kind of unsure of, where this Rangers season was going to go. Could Coach Chase corral the troops and get things going in the right direction? And I think he finally has started to get things going the right way. In that win over the Shoremen, you had Griffin Toure pouring in 13 points. RJ Schneider led the way with 18 points. So when you get kids outside of a Jake Boynar who are able to contribute and do all sorts of different things, it really leads to good basketball. And for North Ridgeville, they continue to play good basketball. And the shooting for them has started to heat up as well. They shot 57% in that win again over Avon Lake. And that was something Coach Chase talked to me early on this season about, the shooting or the shots, just were not falling despite getting some good open looks. So good to see North Ridgeville finally getting some shots to go down. They've got a big matchup with Keystone this week. And speaking of the Wildcats, they've won 3 in a row. They got wins over Firelands, Wellington, and Edison. And I want to focus in on that Edison win for a second. 60-21 was the final score there. So first and foremost, the defense brought by Coach Holzhauer's Wildcats, just outstanding. That was an area of the floor that he was a little concerned about at certain points this season. Certainly did not expect to see that kind of defensive effort in the win over Edison, per his words in the Chronicle Telegram's post-game write-up there. So again, another fantastic defensive performance from the Wildcats. They held the Chargers to 3 of 20 shooting at the half in that game. So again, just great basketball by the Wildcats there. Back over to the SWC, we'll take a quick look over at the Midview Middies. They picked up a big Friday night win over Elyria, a big contest they have this week against Columbia. So make sure you stay tuned to see the results on that one. But Midview playing good basketball right now as well. And to round out who's hot on the boys' side, you have the Columbia Raiders. They lost last week's LC8 battle with Oberlin. So shout out to the Phoenix and Coach Kurt Russell for getting a win in that one. They continue to have a great year. So for Columbia, they have games against Elyria and Wellington on the schedule this week. So a good opportunity for them to try and bounce back. Now we'll head on over to the girls' side in terms of who's hot and playing well right now in Lorain County. And we'll head on over to the SBC, the Sandusky Bay Conference, where the Vermilion Lady Sailors, they've won 4 of their last 5. They fell to Bay earlier this week in an overtime contest, 45-44. The Sailors just unable to get that winning play to go their way. But they have games against Clyde and Bellevue this week, so some good opportunities to try and get back into the win column for the Vermilion Lady Sailors. Back over to North Ridgeville we go on the girls' side, where, again, a team has not lost since the last time we spoke. The Lady Rangers have 7 straight wins under their belt right now. And their most impressive win, I think, of the season actually came this past week, a win over Walsh Jesuit, my alma mater, actually. They knocked off the Warriors 61-56. You got girls like Grace Kingery and Dalen Baker contributing in that contest, making big-time plays for their team, knocking down perimeter shots, moving the ball around. Just all-around good basketball from Coach Esser's group. And I think that's another team that, you look at last year's postseason success for them, and they can certainly build upon that this year, I think. Not to get too ahead of ourselves. There's still plenty of regular season left to go, of course, and Coach Amy Esser would be the first to tell you that. But North Ridgeville girls basketball outstanding right now this season. Back to Midview we go as well, where the Lady Middies have won 2 in a row in their own right. Olivia DeFranco had 23 points in a weekend win over Elyria. Mary Mang had 19. That's a team I actually got to see in person early on this season, and they just continue to get better. Again, Olivia DeFranco, the way she's been playing, Mary Mang continues to be a dominant post threat. I'm very excited to see what the Lady Middies can continue to do as the season goes on. And finally, a team that I saw earlier this week, the Firelands Lady Falcons under head coach Dave Kudella. I got to see them in a big-time road win over Amherst. They knock off Coach John Rossitano's Lady Comets 52-47. And what impressed me the most about that win was they went about the last 4 or 5 minutes without their 2 best players. That's Abby Schmitz and Lauren Valerius. Both had fouled out of the ball game and had to take a seat again with about 4 or 5 minutes left. It was a 3 or 4 point game at the time when that happened, and they actually hang on and get the win. Certainly not the outcome that I was expecting by any means when that happened, but Haley Urban comes off the bench and scores 9 fourth quarter points for Coach Kudela. That's huge. That is just huge right there. So shout out to Haley for that effort, and shout out to the Lady Falcons for getting that win over Amherst. So there's who's playing well right now in Lorain County. Let's step outside of that realm for a little bit and take a look at just a couple of extra tidbits here. Looking at Jose Gomez of Lake Ridge Academy, not a team or school that we've mentioned a lot here this season, but Jose right now leads the area in scoring, just over 25 points per contest for Jose Gomez. So shout out to him piecing together a fantastic 2021-2022 campaign. On the girls' side of that equation, you have Abby Leiber of Avon. She's averaging 20 points per game right now for the Lady Eagles. So Jose Gomez and Abby Leiber, your two leading scorers right now in Lorain County. A cool thing about Avon Lake actually this past week is, well, it was actually earlier this week, they headed over to Indiana and they played at Hoosier Gym. And why does that sound familiar? Well, that's actually where the film Hoosiers was shot at in the fictional town of Hickory, Indiana. The Hickory Hoosiers, the pretend high school team in the movie. But Avon Lake took on Brecksville there at Hoosier Gym. It was awesome. Got to see a little bit of the live stream. Just a really cool environment and a great experience for Avon Lake. They did fall to Brecksville, unfortunately for the Shoremen, but still an awesome opportunity for them to head on over and play at a pretty historic gymnasium and film site there. So what's coming up this week in terms of action around Lorain County? Well, on WEOL, we get you started this weekend on a Friday night. It's the rivalry renewed as Avon will visit Avon Lake again. That one will be on WEOL. I'll actually have the call for you there. The girls contest is earlier this week, a Wednesday night affair. It'll be at Avon. Saturday, it's the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. Myself and Rob Polinsky will have you covered from about 9 to 11:15, where we head on over to North Ridgeville, as Amherst and North Ridgeville will battle at an 11:30 start time. We're looking at roughly, that got moved up from an early afternoon tip-off. So again, that Saturday game between Amherst and North Ridgeville at 11:30, the scheduled tip-off time on WEOL. And stick around, Saturday night, it's Elyria Catholic at Elyria. That should be a fantastic game. It's one that I've had circled on my schedule since the team schedules got released back in the fall. So very much looking forward to that one on WEOL. Again, Saturday night, Elyria Catholic at Elyria. So that would do it for this week on In the Paint, brought to you by First Federal Savings of Lorain. Good luck to all of our local teams in action this week, hoping for some more fantastic basketball around Lorain County. So for Kristen Bauer, I'm Rocco Nuosci saying thank you once again for tuning in to In the Paint, brought to you by First Federal Savings of Lorain. We'll see you next time.